Well, let's find out what Vicky Beeching and Michael Booker think about that before we look through the papers.
I have to watch that for academic reasons, obviously.
It's definitely not our plans.
Yeah, a study in art, obviously, all 5 hours of it.
Do we get? Are we too sensitive about things like that?
It doesn't say Sunday afternoon at the cinema to me.
No.
I mean, I've read all the reviews, but it sounds as though it's a bit arty-farty more than anything else, rather than,
I think people will probably go to see it more out of curiosity than anything now.
It's good controversy as well, and that's what he seems to build his career on as well, doesn't he? They say he likes the art of movies, but he likes a bit of controversy as well, which we need a bit of that as well, but don't take your granny.
No. Or your something different. The Lego movie and then Nymphomaniac. It covers all ends of the spectrum.
It's only out tonight.
Right.
Tonight.
And date movie.
And then what happens to it?
Well, it'll be on Sky Movies.
It'll be, I bet it'll be big on DVD, that one.
I think it will.
Yeah, if it piques your interest, I have to say, I'm intrigued.
Most people probably wouldn't show up in person at the cinema. It's like people that read 50 Shades of Grey on their Kindle, you know, just so nobody knows what the book is.
Well, and you can watch it on your phones now, where no one can see what you're really watching.
No, it's very true. Excellent. Lovely. Let's move through the papers then on that one. Look, to a serious story on the front of the Times, Vicky. Anorexia is now a silent epidemic, it says.
Well, it's made the front page of the Times, which is interesting, but it doesn't really strike me as anything particularly new or unexpected. They're saying that there's a real epidemic of this happening within some of the top girls' schools, that the same factors culturally that make people do well in these schools, you know, the pressure to achieve, the perfectionism, are also causing this, obsession with weight and wanting to look perfect. So it doesn't really strike me as anything new or unexpected. We know that's happening in these schools, and a lot of the schools are actually complaining that these criticisms are inaccurate, because the article talks about there being a lack of pastoral care and there not being enough people on call to help these girls. But having read it, I would have thought it would be more useful actually to bring to the fore some studies about boys and anorexia.
It's a big problem with boys, teenage boys.
I think that's the silent epidemic. I don't think this is particularly kind of calling anything out of the closet to light, really, but boys struggling with image, especially now, I think, with social media, there's so much pressure about how they look and the rise of the selfie and body image. I would have thought, actually, the research would be highlighting boys.
And it's harder to notice, I suppose, with boys, simply because if a boy's had a weight problem and then he's slimmed down, everyone's, oh, well done, oh, congratulations, and he thinks, well, I'll keep going. And if he's got the same mindset as they say, high-achieving, perfectionist, you know, but people, I think they'll look at boys in that different way, because, you know, it's, oh, well done, you've lost all that weight, you're really good, you're looking a lot better.
Whereas immediately when a girl loses weight, you worry about how much they're eating and if they're doing it in a healthy way. But like you said, with men, people just say, oh, well done.
Yeah, you've got that six-pack, well done.
Yeah, and boys can't really talk about it so easily, I don't think.
No,
there is an ability for girls to sort of, it is an acceptable thing to struggle with now, but for boys, I think it's just such a taboo that I'd like to see the Times feature that.
Yeah. To the exact opposite, Michael. This lady who's enjoys a takeout.
She does. She's got to 23 stone. Now, she was hard-working, this one. Helen Jobson, 44. It shows that there is no black and white in the benefits debate. There is shades of grey. I think people will look at the headline on this and just straight away there'll be people saying, oh, she's demonising people on benefits, or the Sun are. 23 stone. She says, and she's quite willingly happy to say, £160 a week of her money that she gets from benefits on takeaways for her and her children. She says her kids love Chinese food. She loves Chinese food after a nap on an afternoon. Now, she did have 2 jobs. She's a single mother of 2. Up until a couple of years ago when she became ill, chronic pain syndrome, she says she can't work. However, she says that benefits is paying for all of this, and the government, the more they pay out in benefits, the more that she eats. But at the same time, she wants more benefits to pay for a personal trainer, and she wants more money from the NHS to pay for a gastric band. So at one point, she's claiming she's getting too much from the state, but then she wants some more from the state.
It's the line where she says, if it wasn't for the benefits, I'd be forced to stop trips to the kebab van.
Yeah.
And she spends 15 to 20 quid a week on kebabs, apparently, for her and the kids. Which, you know, people are going to people are going to take against her, aren't they, on this. She's not helping herself. She's pausing, munching away on McDonald's. I mean, Vicky was saying before how this sort of thing, it can, you know, add to demonising people on benefits. And
Mick and I actually had our first argument in the green room. We've never fallen out of a story.
I mean, the point is...
I didn't think they should have put it on the page.
The reason it's on the front page, that it isn't the norm, It is remarkable, it is new, simply because this isn't the norm of people on benefits. This is people taking the mickey on benefits, and that's what
it
people
does in some
say.
ways establish a sense of norm. Remember when they highlighted the person that had 10 children and a pony, you know, some time ago on one of the front pages. I think it almost gives people ammunition to assume that this is representative, and I'm definitely around lots of people that are very negative towards people on benefits.
But why is she spending all her money on takeaways? Is the argument, because you often hear the argument that we're buying fast. Oh, it's not because it's cheaper than buying
she says,
fruit and vegetables.
my kids prefer takeaways and sweets, and so do I.
She's saying it's sort of an addiction, isn't
I know it's not what I should be doing, but my kids prefer
so
Chinese
she wants the
and
fast food,
chocolate.
and then she wants the benefits to pay for a nutritionist.
And
So
she
literally wants her cake and eating it.
Literally.
Pardon the pun, but
that is what she's wanting at the moment.
Yeah, I just don't think that's helpful to necessarily put that out there at this time when benefits is such a sensitive issue. It gives people the sense that this is normal and it's not normal. It's a very unique case.
I think sometimes people forget what newspapers are there for. They give the news and they give something that is remarkable and is different and isn't the norm. That's why it's on the front page.
Well, because people want to read this rather than somebody who's on benefit.
Exactly, who's doing a great job and getting a job and, you know, being responsible.
The people who are on benefits and eat fruit and veg and are trying to get a job, I don't think people have a problem with.
No.
It's people like this that cause the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it raised up a whole new debate. I remember having that debate when I was at college about what makes news. And I have to say, I agree with Michael. That's drummed into us, Michael, isn't it? At the end of the day. Fast, your thoughts on that, please? I can imagine what you're going to say. At Sky Stephen, at Sky Sarah Jane. More papers for you in just a moment. So we're looking at the papers with Vicky and with Michael. Let's have a look at some idiots, should we? In the Mirror, Vicky. We all like a few idiots, especially when they're criminals.
We do. This is a sign of social media becoming somebody's downfall. These two guys were apparently doing quite well at stealing. They were doing raids on luxury cars and homes. They stole a lime Lamborghini and lots of money, but unfortunately they wanted to gloat, and so they decided they would post photos of what they'd done on Facebook. And the police were able then to trace the very unique-looking car and the notes and face-fit them, and they've both been arrested. So
so you bang that on my head and they trace the serial number.
I know, you just wouldn't have thought that it would be something anybody would do, but I think they just they wanted their moment in the limelight, and this is social media, I guess, bringing justice.
Are people stupid, though? Some people are really stupid.
I think it shows how much people want likes and shares, doesn't it? You know, even to risk your own...
To steal a lime Lamborghini to start with would be a bit stupid and then park it outside your house.
You don't fancy one?
Well, because they don't look as though they've got the most expensive houses in the world, and to have that outside, it's...
just showed up.
Yeah, I know. I often think that when you get these jewel thieves and things...
Well, they all turn out with the fur coats afterwards.
How do you get rid of it? How do you fence it? I don't know. I don't know. I'm no expert.
You don't know the underworld,
Steve. No, I'm more like... all I know is from these movies, you know. Let's have a look at ugly people as well. We've gone from stupid people to ugly people.
Yes, in Times today, rise up and suffer, the ugly truth about losers in looks. Now, this is
Am I on the right page?
I think you may have the slightly wrong page. It's page 12 of the Times.
Oh, I've got this tagged as page 12 of the Times, but it isn't. So you talk us through it. Anyway.
What this is Johnny Thacker. He's a lecturer in philosophy at Princeton University. Now, he's decided that ugly people are doomed to a life of discrimination simply because they don't band together and form a support group.
But what's ugly?
Well, that's the point, because what the criteria of what is and isn't ugly changes in society and different societies altogether. The people who are actually ugly they don't want to say, oh, I'm ugly, I realise it, I'm going to join with some other ugly people and join together and form a support group, and thus the vocal support of ugly people, it's not around.
Well, as Christina Aguilera once said, you are beautiful no matter what they say.
Exactly. You can sing for us if you want.
We'll see you in an hour. Quick check on the weather.